Hello, everyone. My name is Wesley Chow. I am a senior at RPI studying a dual in information technology and economics. I am also a former e-board member of SASE Rensselaer. Today, I'm going to be presenting on a very wonderful topic. I'm going to be talking about LinkedIn, right? Everyone's heard about LinkedIn. Everyone knows about it, but no one really knows what the hell it is. What do you do with it, right? So today we're going to be talking about LinkedIn. What is it? How to use it, and what can you expect out from it? Right. So, what is LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a social/professional networking platform that a lot of people use to connect with professionals in the industry, outside of their industry, professionals with similar experiences, similar expertise, and knowledge, right? You can consider it like the Facebook, but for finding jobs, right? You create a profile, you update your profile, you can post statuses, you can post a lot of different things, join groups, and you are able to connect with other professionals through a very wonderful system, very similar to Facebook, where it's like friends, but instead of friends, it's connections. So there you go. Now, what to have on your LinkedIn, right? Now, obviously, now you know LinkedIn, what it is, right? It's a platform. So what, right? What am I going to put on it? LinkedIn is a platform where you can use to showcase your professional experience, and in some rare cases, right, you can also showcase your non-professional experience. You can also include a lot of wonderful information, such as where did you study, your education, volunteering experience, certifications, and etc. Right? As you can see on I should be showing later, I'll be going through a rundown of my LinkedIn profile. How do you use LinkedIn? Right? So now you know what it is. Now you know what to put on it. How the hell do you use it? Right? LinkedIn, no, it's not complex. It's very straightforward. You share your experience. You share what you've done, what you've learned, either from school, either from your jobs, and you put it all into one neat little package, right, through your LinkedIn profile. And you go around connecting with other people, right? You say, "Oh, wow, Ben, I didn't know you also went to RPI. What you went, you graduated right before I came," and you connect with them based off that. Or, "Oh, Jenny, I didn't know you worked at the same job as I did. 2 years before I did. Now let's connect." Right? It's about creating a network, an online presence for yourself to connect with professionals, connect with people like-minded. LinkedIn can also be used to share your professional thoughts and ideas through posts. You can create posts, you can join groups, and you can post there. You can also, one of the benefits of LinkedIn is that you can apply to jobs through LinkedIn. LinkedIn is probably one of the most used professional networking platforms in the world, right? Almost everyone around the world has one. If you are serious about your career, and you can apply to jobs, locally, internationally. LinkedIn is there for you. Now, what's the game plan? Now that you know how to use it, what's the move? What's the plan? Honestly, it's like completely up to you, right? I suppose most of you watching and listening are engineers or scientists or somewhere along the lines of STEM. But if you aren't, LinkedIn is a wonderful platform to be able to share, your artistic endeavors, your creative, innovation endeavors, right? It's up to you how you want to build your profile, how you want to share your profile, share your information, and connect with people, right? As I said, it's Facebook for jobs. Go figure, go break a leg. Right. So now that you know what the plan is, right? So what can you look forward to, right? But at the end of the day, LinkedIn is just a platform. It's just an app, right? Excuse me. Meaning that a platform is just there for you to use. What makes it successful is you yourself being able to reach out to people, right? Finding alumni, finding people who already work in the industry, right? Being able to reach out to them and ask them questions, ask them for mentorship, getting certified, getting certifications, getting certified in certain skill sets, getting degrees and awards in certain areas where you find applicable for your career. Joining groups and online events. LinkedIn is full of these LinkedIn groups where you can join like-minded people in your industry, and online events, especially now with coronavirus still around. Online events are all the rage nowadays. Joining events, listening to talks, listening to professionals talk about their experience. It's a wonderful thing. Finding mentors and talking to them is another wonderful thing. Finding people who were in your shoes some time ago and asking them questions like, hey, I don't really know where to go with my career path. You went to RPI, you studied the same major, and I just want to get your experience, your expertise, pick your brain a little bit, right? There's a lot of things you could do with LinkedIn and through LinkedIn, right? It's important that you know what you want to do, right? It doesn't matter if you have the prettiest profile picture. It doesn't matter if you have the fanciest jobs. If you aren't connecting with people, if you aren't reaching out and putting in your 2 cents of effort, it's not going to be worthwhile, right? But fortunately, very fortunately, you guys, your careers have just begun. Things have just started, right? Make sure that you take advantage of LinkedIn, you take advantage of the opportunities and take advantage of the options they give you, and you seize that and you work towards it. Right. Any questions so far? No? Wonderful, right? If there are other questions, I'm pretty sure someone's going to yell at me, right? But no. Now let's go into an in-depth look at my LinkedIn profile. Now, as I said, and I will say this many times, everyone's profile will be different. Everyone's style, everyone's taste, and the creativity will be different, right? So do take what I have with a grain of salt, and understand that this is a portrayal of my creative decision, a professional decision. Does not have to be what you have to follow to the letter. Now, hopefully everyone's able to see my screen. Now I'm on my LinkedIn profile. So now the first thing I recommend every single person to do, right, is you notice your URL for your profile. This is something that you can customize, right? You can change it to something else, right? If you don't customize it, it's going to be a bunch of letters. It's like I had a seizure on the keyboard, right? Change it to something simple, change it to something custom, right? That reflects you and your personality, right? Very simple. You go into the top right corner right here, edit public profile and URL, something you can change. That's one of the things that I highly, highly, highly encourage people to do. Now, we go down here, you got your profile, you got your title, your connections, where you are. If you are looking for a job, you can set your status to be looking for a job, and recruiters are able to see it. Now we continue scrolling down, right? You get a overview of your activity, whether you've been posting, you've been commenting, you've been liking, this is where it'll show up. Now, let's jump into experience. Experience, this is very, very similar to a resume. If you have a resume, this section is pretty much done, right? You name, what you worked as, where you worked, what type of job it was, the duration of your work, where it was, and, having a very, very brief and, description of your role and your job as very important, right? So this is where you would have it, you list it all down and have it down here. Now, moving away from education, moving away from experience, now you jump into education. Education, this is where you list out, where did you study? Whether, if you studied there as, in high school and college, you got an associate's degree from this place, you got a master's, whatnot. This is where you put your education. Now, hopefully, the most of the people here in this call, will be graduating from RPI in due time. Right, so you put RPI, you put what type of degree you're working towards, what major you're going to be graduating from, and a very brief description about your department and what you did during the education. I have the RPI, I'm a dual, so I have 2 sections. My high school. Now moving down into volunteer experience. Now, if you have volunteering experience, this is where you would put it. If not that important. Don't sweat it. Now, we jump down to the very bottom here, not very bottom, but close to the bottom, is skills and endorsements. Now, you want to have skills listed, right? Very much like your resume. Whether you're proficient in information technology, project management, leadership, communication, you know how to CAD, you know how to code in Python, right? This is where you would list it. Now, one of the benefits of LinkedIn is that your friends, your connections, right, the people that you know well, and the people that have seen you in action when you're working, and they can attest and they can endorse you the skills, right? You can say, my connection, my good friend Peter, right? He's a really great guy. He knows so much about AutoCAD, right? And so I'm going to go ahead and endorse him for AutoCAD, right? Endorsing, this is not something you just go every connection you have and just endorse all their skills. This is something that you're putting your name on the line, right? Saying that I, Wesley Chow, I find Peter's skill to be really, really exceptional in AutoCAD, so I'm going to endorse this man, right? So endorsements are very, very key. They give to people very important things, and if you have endorsements, very good, very good. Now, scrolling down, now we have accomplishments, right? Now, this is where you would list your courses. Now, I know I am a very big proponent of saying don't have courses listed on your resume. But this is a little bit different. LinkedIn, there is no page limit. You don't have a single page limit. You are allowed to put as much stuff as you want on your LinkedIn. It's a single website. All you got to do is click, drag down the drop down. So do list all relevant and also all classes you've taken onto LinkedIn. If you have honors and awards, you would put them there. If you speak a different language, right? That's where you put it. If you are a part of an organization, right, which hopefully most people in this chat are part of SASE, do put it there, right? Organization. Now, interest, whatever you're interested in, whether it be popular figures, leaders, organizations, companies, you would put them and follow them down here, right? That is a very, very basic rundown, a very brief rundown of your profile. Right, and you go, how am I supposed to edit? Right, there's a lot of different ways you can edit. You can add profile section here, and you can go around, adding different things that you find relevant. You see your projects, test scores, organizations, other stuff, articles, links, medias, right? Your licenses, certifications, whatnot. This is all where you would put it. LinkedIn has a section for everything that you could think of professionally that would help you towards your career. Now, I just saw a question pop up in the chat, and I'm going to diverge a little bit to talk a little bit about that. The question was, how proficient should you be to list a language on your LinkedIn profile, right? And I think this question applies for a lot of different things as well, not just languages, but also skills, right? Experiences. When you list something on a public profile that you are submitting to a recruiter, right? Say, I speak French, right? I speak French. You have to be prepared for the recruiter to start speaking to you in French. If you are not confident in your skills if it's a language, speaking French on the spot, if you are not confident in your Python abilities, when the recruiter asks, okay, write out this script for me in Python. If you are not confident in your skills to be able to work either in that language or work in that coding language or whatnot, that skill, on the spot, do not list it on there, right? Everything you put on your LinkedIn, on your resume, whatnot, you have to be prepared to back it up. If you do not have the skills, if you do not have the knowledge to back it up, forget it, remove it. Don't even think about it. Right? Unless you're really good at lying, right? But then how are you going to lie in French if you don't even speak the language, right? So hopefully that answers your question. If you have any more questions, please, as I said, put it in the chat and I will look at it, right? So now LinkedIn, now I'm just going to go over briefly everything else. Now you have your home, let it load. Home, this is where you're able to see everything, all the people you're following, all your connections and where they post things. Very wonderful. My network is where you connect with people, right? Once it loads, you'll be able to see it. There's a lot of people that I may or may not know, and I can check out, who they are, where they studied, what their experience is, and you can check on their profile, you can look them up and do some research on these people, right? And you want to connect with people you know. You don't want to connect with random people, or else your network is just going to be all over the place, right? Not helpful. Moving over in here, I'm going to skip the job section for now. Messaging, you can go connect with, message a lot of people on LinkedIn, message recruiters, message your friends and connections, and ask them for experience and help. Now, the most important part of LinkedIn, what many people would consider the most important part, is the job section, right? As I said, LinkedIn is a very, very well-renowned social professional platform, right? So a lot of companies, a lot of big name companies, startups, mid-tier companies will be posting job openings on LinkedIn. Now, very simple. You get to see the different jobs, the company hosting it, when they posted it. One of the wonderful things LinkedIn does for you is if you see the easy apply on the job, LinkedIn has made it very easy. It takes less than 5 seconds. There is no reason you should not be applying through LinkedIn when there are features like easy apply available, right? So do take the time, when you're bored, you scroll through LinkedIn on your phone, and you'll be able to apply through jobs very, very quickly, very, very easily, right? We're all about making things efficient and making things easy for people. So that's where it is. Now, for LinkedIn, that's very much the general basis of it, right? And as I said, LinkedIn is a reflection of your professional experience, a reflection of your creative perspective, right? You do not have to follow what I put in. You do not have to follow the way I did it, right? But LinkedIn is a very straightforward platform, right? There is little, if any, wiggle room for creativity or customization. So do take a look into your LinkedIn and make sure this is updated. Make sure that you're connecting with people. Make sure that you are taking advantage of this platform to its fullest capability, right? LinkedIn is very wonderful. LinkedIn is very great, right? So don't forget this, right? And it's very important that if you have questions about LinkedIn, you ask someone, hey, can I get some help? Critiquing my LinkedIn profile. Can I get some help? I don't really know how to use it. The people on SASE Rensselaer eBoard, as well as the upperclassmen that wherever you're from, they will always be willing to help you. So do make sure you reach out. Do make sure that you get your LinkedIn profile set up, and make sure that it is updated with the most recent and relevant information. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for me? I'm going to take that as a no, right? But if people do have questions, please make sure to put it in the chat or message an upperclassman or someone from the executive board, and they will very promptly get to you and answer your question. Thank you very much.
I actually wanted to follow up on Tim's question. So Wesley was right that you should only really add a language to your LinkedIn profile if you're pretty comfortable with speaking that language. But LinkedIn actually luckily has an option where when you can add a language to your profile, you can actually indicate your skill level in that language. So if you actually go to your LinkedIn profile and try to add a language, it'll give you an option where you can select out of 5 different options what your skill level of that language is. And the 5 different options are, let me just look at it. So the 5 different options are elementary proficiency, limited working proficiency, professional working proficiency, full professional proficiency, or native or bilingual, like if it's your native language. So that's a pretty good range of options of skill levels that you can indicate, and they're pretty self-explanatory. So you don't necessarily have to be fluent in a language to add it to your LinkedIn profile, but you should at least be pretty comfortable with it, and you should add however skilled you are with the language, you should indicate that in those options when you add it to your profile.